In this episode of the BMW restoration, we are going to poke, drill, cut, grind and weld to kill all the rust on my E28.
All my friends, low rider.
So the car is inside. It was a really tight squeeze, but I think I can make it work. Today we're going to fix the 4 rust holes that are near the jacking points. It's a really important fix because otherwise I can't get the car through a government inspection and then it's impossible to register the car. I have never done a repair like this, so please go easy on me, it's my first time. I have some friends that have a little bit of experience with this, but still, it's going to be a trial and error. But I hope you enjoy the video and let's get into it.
The BMW E28 has had rust for the longest time and today we're finally fixing it. Currently I know of 4 really bad rust spots near the jacking points, but there still might be some rust hiding from me. Nevertheless, we're going to fix all of it. Normally I do the work outside, but the typical Belgian weather is forcing me to work in my tiny garage. As always, we're starting with jacking up the car and putting it on jack stands. While it was up in the air, I went over the car and quickly spotted that there is some additional rust in the front wheel arches, which will need addressing. But first, we're working on the jacking points. To fix them, we are going to cut out every bit of rust and replace it with fresh metal. To do this, I'm using a steel brush on the grinder to clean up a lot of the rust and to see where the spot welds on the rocker panel are located. These come in very handy for projects like this. When cleaned a bit, I can see the 3 spot welds holding on this bracket, so I can drill them out. I purchased a special spot welding drill bit to make this process a lot easier. With the bracket removed, I can clean up the rocker panel because this too is attached with some spot welds. In case you didn't know, spot welding is a popular technique used in automotive industry to attach panels to each other. Basically, it works by pressing plates strongly together in a tiny spot while a high current is sent through. This produces a lot of heat, which melts the plates together. Almost every car is built by these welds and my BMW is no exception. That's why I'm marking them to drill them out. Next, I'm marking how much we're going to cut out. Lastly, the remaining piece of metal has to be removed from the edge and then everything can be cleaned with a wire brush. That's what I have to do on all four corners of the car. So it's a cup of coffee for me and back to work. I was almost finished, but when working on the final corner, I spotted more rust inside of the rocker panel. After poking it with my inspection finger, I quickly realized that this is bad and going to need fixing as well. But that's for tomorrow, as I'm in desperate need of some sleep. I woke up bright and early because there's a lot of work to do. Hans and Elias are helping me today, but before they arrive, I'm using a small dry weather window to drive the BMW outside and clean up. Looks like we did some serious weight reduction. All 4 jacking points are cut out and ready to be welded on. The goals for today are fabricating the metal plates that fit in the holes, addressing the hole inside the front wheel arch, and potentially welding the first metal pieces. I pulled the car back in and soon enough the heavens opened again. So it's back to working in the tiny garage. Elias and I discussed that to fix the rust in the front, we're going to have to pull the carpet because it likes to set on fire when welding near it. So part of the interior needs to be removed. With everything removed, the carpet can be pulled. However, it's so stiff and thick that it doesn't like to get folded, which makes it impossible to remove it. So we're going to do something that I'm not proud of, but needs to be done. We're cutting away a section of the carpet.
Oh shit.
Or we try at least. It hurts my soul to do this, but it won't be very noticeable since we're making our cuts where the center console is located. And I'd rather have a ruined carpet than rust on my car. With it removed, we can easily access all the rust spots that need repairing, and I'm quite happy that the rest of the floors still look pretty darn new. I gave it a satisfying clean, and now it's time to pull off the fender so we can inspect that rust section in the wheel arch. Elias told me that almost every BMW from this era rusts in this corner, because there's a wheel well cover sitting over it. It collects grease and mud which holds on to moisture, which makes the car rust. So let's see how bad the damage is. After cleaning it up, we're left with a hole the size of a fist, which makes me very sad. But instead of making more holes, it's time to start fixing them. Elias brought a load of E30 metal and his welder, which we're going to use to fill up my car. To prevent everything from rusting inside the rocker panel once everything is welded, we're prepping it with acetone and spraying it with a zinc coating. While Elias was doing that, I got a bit nervous that on the other side of the car the wheel well would also hide a hole from me because the guard is still attached. Everything looked hard as a rock and I was quite happy, as you can see. But this happy face is about to change as Elias spotted a minuscule rust hole. He told me that it would become as large as the hole on the other side, and I was on a mission to prove him that my quality BMW still had some solid body parts.
En nu gaat hij gelijk.
Well, that didn't go as expected, and it got progressively worse when Elias really got into it with a grinder, launching BMW rust straight into our eyeballs. After crying for half an hour, we got back into fixing stuff. The coating has dried, so we can give our replacement plate its final shape and welded it. We were a bit tense because Elias already has set 2 of his own cars on fire while welding on them, so we're starting off carefully. I'm sitting inside the car feeling if the carpet is getting hot, while Hans is keeping the garden hose on standby to spray into the rocker panel. Elias was struggling a little bit to find the right settings, but eventually he found them and could lay down some clean beads. This is the first result. Not really clean, but remember, we are not experienced welders yet. And with some help of the grinder we can clean it up. So this is where we're stopping for tonight because it's getting late again, but I'm pleased with the progress we have made. I have to give a massive thank you to these 2 lovely fellers for helping me the entire day in my cramped garage, because without them I would have gotten nowhere. So where are we at right now? We pulled the interior to expose the 2 holes in the wheel wells, and we still have to patch up 3 pieces of the jacking points. So in the next video we can continue with this job to give the BMW a new life on the streets. Thank you for watching, and until next time.